Swaminathan Aiyar also joins us right now to talk a bit more about this entire event that has played out overnight. Mr. Aiyar, thank you so much for coming on board. Just want to understand, do you also concur with the view that the chances of tension and aggression being further escalated are now very, very less, now that the Indian government has clarified their stand that it was a strike entirely and purely against terror?
I do not think that story will play well in Pakistan. Pakistan has never agreed that it is the center of these terrorist operations. It has never agreed that it was responsible for the attack on Pulwama. So all I can say is that it is a very good thing that our Air Force managed to penetrate so far inside and come back safe. That was a major feat. Mr. Modi had promised a fitting reply. He has delivered on it, and I think, therefore, the market would expect he'll get a big boost at the election. But at this particular point of time, India is very keen on avoiding escalation. It has said that this is non-military. It has not said that this is revenge for Pulwama. It says it is preemptive to preempt another attack. It says it wants to engage with Pakistan diplomatically. So India is very keen on saying this is a one single strike, let us not escalate. Will Pakistan, however, accept the situation? This remains to be seen. Mr. Imran Khan will be under as much pressure to respond to this as Mr. Modi was to respond to Pulwama. So I would say the situation is one that calls for extreme caution, and we really need to be on the lookout for some possible reaction from Pakistan.
Swami, just a couple of days back, you had made a full what-if analysis at a conference on how the chances for the current leadership, Mr. Modi and BJP, would be from here on, in which your hypothesis was also 40% chance if there's a muscular attack to Pulwama. Would you term this as a muscular attack? And in the current, the way developments are panning out, how would your prognosis for election 2019 pan out from here on?
Before Pulwama, I had estimated Mr. Modi's chances of victory at 50-50, adding that if he was able to make use of the Pulwama thing to improve his image as a strong man, as somebody who can come to the rescue of the national honor, then his chances would go up from 50% to 60 or 70%. At this point of time, the strike that he has made, if he says they have eliminated 300 people, and if there is no response from Pakistan, that I think will go down very well with voters. That I think would definitely boost his chances. The fact that our Air Force slept and came back without casualties, that again is a major feat. What remains to be seen is, will there be a Pakistani response? What kind of response? Will that cause a lot of damage? Will that set in further escalation? All this is still uncertain. I think it would be unwise to believe that the strike has taken place and it's all over. I really do fear that some kind of response will come from Pakistan. If not immediately, it will not be too long.
So, I mean, in fact, on the wires, they have termed this particular act as grave aggression. So let's see how it goes from here on. But how did you analyze the response of the opposition on this? Abhishek Manu Singhvi was the first one to laud the act, saying that we are with the Indian Air Force, and if this is true, that it's really a big move. Then followed by even Mr. Rahul Gandhi commented backing the Indian Air Force, not the government, of course. The earlier all-party meet after Pulwama was very badly attended. Really, the representatives did not come together by MPs. There's another all-party meet which is happening this evening. Do you see better attendance? Do you see all the parties coming together and standing with the government after this step has been taken?
I think everybody will definitely stand with the government. I do, without doubt, the Congress will be worried that this particular successful attack may have dented its election chances, which is why it's giving congratulations to the Air Force and not to Mr. Modi. However, whatever distinction you make, at the end of it all, certainly the whole country will come together to back the Air Force and to back this particular strike. I don't think anybody can possibly go against it. It remains to be seen what happens, however, if there is a Pakistani response. And if there is a Pakistani response which is very inconvenient for us, that may be the point at which the national unity breaks down and some people accuse the government of not handling things properly. As of now, the mood is unquestionably one of national unity, get together and praise the IAF.
Last question on, you analyze economies very well. What is the condition of the Pakistani economy right now? I'm told they have less than $8 billion of forex reserves, a number around that. Can they afford a big reaction? And with the new Prime Minister coming in, how's the equation there within the army? And what's your own expectation of the situation from their side on retaliation front?
When it comes to national honor, you do not worry about foreign exchange reserves. In any case, if you fight a war is fought out of reserves of ammunition. In the middle of a war, there is very little time to try to organize fresh arms purchases. So I don't think the strength of the Pakistan economy is very relevant for this particular thing. And in any case, if it becomes a military thing, Pakistan, I think, will automatically get support from its normal backers like China and Saudi Arabia. So that is not the key issue. If Pakistan goes to what kind of escalation Pakistan is going to do remains to be seen. Very clearly, they were unable to attack the planes which went across, and they must be cursing themselves for that. What is the next step? We don't know. Suppose, for instance, the next step is 2 more terrorist attacks, which once again Pakistan denies. If that is the response, then that will leave Mr. Modi in a quandary, it will leave India in a quandary. The fact is, nobody should believe that because you had this one strike, that further terrorist attacks in India are going to stop. I see no chance of that at all. After the Uri incident, we went for the surgical strikes, and everybody applauded the surgical strikes. But the sad fact is that in the following year, the number of cross-border incidents actually increased, the number of infiltrations into India increased, the number of deaths in India increased. So whether it was surgical strikes then or this bombing of the terrorist camps today, will this bring an end to the terrorism? I am afraid the answer is no.
Mr. Swaminathan, always good to get your perspective. Thanks so much for taking out time for us and telling us about this important development and what's your perspective on the same. In fact, let's listen into various other views that we got through the day on this particular strike that has happened. Let's listen in.
They did attack us. They have been attacking us and bleeding us. They themselves say we want to give 1,000 cuts to India. So I think our government did the right thing by giving them a 1,000-pound bomb instead, you see. But this is only a first step. I think our objective should be to break Pakistan into 4. They are making fool of their own people. That is their problem. But we know what we are doing. We'd like to see Mr. Azhar come out and let him go back to the POK and show us that he's got guts. There will be no Azhar after that.
Clearly, I think the Indian government has carried out a successful operation and sent out a strong signal. So to that extent, I think what Prime Minister Modi had assured the country, India has responded.
एक भारतीय म्हणून भारतीय सेनेचा मला अभिमान वाटतो की भारतीय सेनेने आज एक प्रकारे आमच्या शहीद जवानांचं बलिदान हे वाया जाणार नाही हे खऱ्या अर्थानं पाकिस्तानला दाखवून दिलंय.
My understanding is from what is there in the news, and that is that in the early hours of this morning, Pakistan claims that Indian Air Force sent in a fighter aircraft, apparently a Mirage, which dropped a payload, which is a military euphemism for a bomb. My guess is that I think it is being sort of built up into that kind of a situation, because if India was to cross the line of control with one fighter, it would cross with multiple attacks at the same time. The point to understand is that you use the military option when all other options run out. And I don't think other options have run out in terms of getting more international pressure on Pakistan. Your aim should be to get Pakistan to abandon its obsession with terror and ideally hand over the terror masterminds to some international body to get them to face the legal punishment.